What is up, guys? Today we're going to be talking about things that you should do before your first day of classes at college. Some of these things you'll be able to do from home, but others will require you to be on campus, and this is by no means a definitive list, but I figured this quick little video could help you guys out if you're wondering what you should do before your first day of college. Let's get started. This first point is definitely one that will require you to be on campus, and it's that you should try to find all of your buildings and classes before the semester actually begins. This is important for a couple of reasons. First off, you don't want to be lost on your first day, and you don't want to be showing up late to classes or not at all, simply because you could not find them. Second, this is just really important from a timing perspective. If you know you need to be in building A at a certain time, and then 15 minutes later you need to be at building B, you need to figure out if you can actually make that walk in 15 minutes. If you can't, then you're gonna have to figure out another option, whether it's leaving your class early, getting a bicycle or a skateboard, or maybe trying to take a bus. Regardless, this is definitely something that you want to do before your first day of classes because odds are you'll already be stressed out enough with it being your first day of college, so you don't need to add any more stress by being worried about not showing up to the right place or showing up late simply because you didn't already walk your routes. Point number 2, you should be researching your classes and the professors who are teaching them ahead of time. First off, this is just going to make you more prepared on your first day of classes, and you'll actually know what the class is about and what you might be able to expect. But this is also important for another reason. Potentially, depending on where you go to school, you might be able to switch out of the class. For example, if you find out that the professor has a reputation for being really mean, you could try to switch into another section. Or maybe you can take a different class instead of that one if you found out that it's really hard, or you don't really think that it aligns with what you want to do. Generally, at least at Georgia Tech where I go to school, there is some sort of switching period in the first week, so I could show up on the first day and then decide that I wanted to switch. But unfortunately, once everyone else has already seen their professor, they're also going to be trying to switch. So if you can figure out ahead of time that you don't want to be in that class, you can get the jump by moving over before everyone else tries to. Point number 3, if you're going to be living in a dorm or an apartment, try to get yourself completely moved in before classes start. Now, I realize that if you're moving into your dorm or your apartment and it's the day before classes start and you're tired, you probably don't want to unpack everything. It's gonna be a lot of work and you can probably just wait till later in the week. In theory, this is perfectly fine. However, in practice, what I've noticed is that once you start taking classes, getting work to do, you're probably not going to take the time to unpack and decorate your room, in which case it'll be a month later and you still won't have done it. If you're someone who's really organized, this probably won't be an issue for you and I'm sure you'll take care of it. But if you're someone who has a tendency to live out of suitcases, well, you might still be living out of your suitcase a month into college. The fourth point I want to talk about is actually a do and a don't. The do is that you should go and buy all of your general supplies before classes start. That would be your pencils, your pens, maybe a calculator, some notebooks, stuff like that. These are the type of things that you don't need for any specific class. No matter what classes you end up taking that semester, you're going to need them, and it's a good idea to invest in them before other people hit the campus store and all of a sudden they're out of stock of something that you need. The don't is actually something that I flip-flopped on during my time at college, and that's buying your books ahead of time. Back when I was a freshman, I actually always used to buy my books before the semester even began, so I'd have all of my books. First day of class, I would be ready to go. The reality is, on my first day of courses, I have never, ever needed my books. And I get it because I always like being prepared and I like having my books on my very first day of class, but there's two main reasons why maybe you shouldn't do this. The first reason is, if you realize that you want to drop a class after showing up on the first day, assuming you've already taken the shrink wrap off, which generally I have by then, you're ending up with a very expensive paperweight that is made out of paper. The second reason is sometimes you'll show up on the first day of classes and your professor will tell you, hey, you don't really need this book, I'm not going to teach from it, and you can save your money. Or they'll tell you that there's a version online for free and you don't need to spend your money on a physical copy. This is something that has definitely happened to me. I've shown up on the first day of class with book in hand, only to find out that I wasted my money and didn't need to buy it, which really is not a great feeling. Alright guys, if you enjoyed this video, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button. I really appreciate it, and if you're new here, consider subscribing for new videos every week. That's it. Thanks for watching, and I will catch you guys in the next one.